Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Sketchpunky here. Today we're gonna have a look at this very cool Jeep. This is not your average Grand Cherokee. This is the Trackhawk. I can't believe that they actually put this into production because underneath the hood we have a 707 horsepower Hellcat engine powering a big SUV. This car does not make sense in any way, and that's why I love that they actually put this into production. I would like to shake the hand of the person who said, yes, let's do that. Let's put the Hellcat engine in a Grand Cherokee and let's see what happens. Thanks again to Urban Motors right outside of Denver for letting me review this car today. I'm going to link their full inventory, including this Trackhawk, down in the description. So what we're going to do in this video, as always, we're going to have a look at this design. What makes it different from a Grand Cherokee, from a front, side, and rear. Then we're going to talk about the interior, which I like, even though it looks a little dated. And then we're going to take it for a drive. So let's start with the front end of this beast. Nothing up here tells you that there is a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 under the hood, and that's kind of what I like about this design. It's almost like a sleeper design, but we do have some changes from the normal Grand Cherokee. For example, you see these vents here? These are not existent on the normal Grand Cherokee, and it tells you that something is going on. And then you have this gorgeous, almost military green or gray finish on these 7 slots in the grille, a typical Jeep fashion. And we have this big black mask on top of the headlights, almost like a Batman mask. And down at the bottom we have a brand new intake or bumper for the Trackhawk. You can see that this is not what you see on a normal Grand Cherokee. We have much larger openings in the front end and the sides. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Durango SRT treatment of the lower bumper, which has a smaller intake on the side, but this middle section looks pretty much identical. And then you have the radar right here for the automatic cruise control sitting right in the middle, and blacked out Jeep logo up top. I really like this design. I think it looks proper Jeep, and the proportions of this thing just feels like a proper SUV, and it looks planted because we have wider fenders on the Trackhawk as well. Another detail that sets this apart from the normal Grand Cherokee is if you look up here on the hood, you have this gorgeous sculpted surface on each side with the air vents flow, where the hot air goes in here and then it flows up here up top on this SRT hood. A detail as well that you can't really see unless you're standing above this vehicle, and that also adds to the sleeper design of the Jeep Trackhawk. So when we talk about proportions of the Jeep Grand Cherokee in general, I think it's one of the best looking SUVs out there because we have these lines cutting into the body. There's just one thing that I would like to change with the shoulder line. You see that it starts all the way up here cutting into this fender, but then when we come back here, it kind of crashes into the taillight in the middle of it. I would like to have it be in connection with the top part of the corner. Other details that we have that separates this from a normal Grand Cherokee is, of course, we have the forged 20-inch wheels down here with the Brembo brake calipers in yellow. Also something that you kind of notice on this car, you notice that something is different from a normal Grand Cherokee. Usually I'm not a huge fan of black wheels, but since everything else, the trim around the window, the lower part of the side mirror, and everything else is black on this, I kind of think it suits to have black wheels on the Trackhawk here as well. And these tires are 295 millimeter wide all around the car. And you can see that we have this big, massive fender, and this makes it wider than a normal Grand Cherokee because you need to plant it specifically if you have 295 wide tires. Another detail I love that they did on the Trackhawk is they didn't add any chrome at all to the exterior of the Trackhawk. I think that suits a sportier version. You can have it on the other trim levels of the Grand Cherokee, but not the Trackhawk. So everything is blacked out, and you have the body colored door handles, for example, and the black badge down there that says Grand Cherokee Supercharged. Love that they added the supercharged letters onto the side as well. And down here we have this side skirt that I think is necessary for this design because it kind of adds some width to the lower part. If you're going to have these wider fenders right here, we need to have something here that has the same correlation when it comes to width as the fenders. And I think the fenders go beautifully into this added side skirts, and you can see just how sculpted this side is. Very horizontal, but it adds to that stateliness of the Grand Cherokee, and also also some sportiness and a sharp shoulder line to add the beefy feeling to the entire side view of the car. Same goes really for the rear design of the Trackhawk. Comparing it to the side and the front, it's very subtle. But if you go down here, all the way down to the bottom, you start to notice that something is going on in the bottom part that you don't see on your everyday Grand Cherokee, and that is this big diffuser with the quad tailpipes, 2 on each side, staggered setup. I love the black on white. Usually, also, I'm not a fan of white cars, but I think this, with all the black accents, it looks really good. One detail that I would personally like to change is, you see up here, we have this big roof spoiler, and I think we could have moved the windshield wiper to be housed underneath here so we don't have it in the center and ruining the otherwise very clean rear window, because look around it, there's no trim around it, so it's a super clean layout for the rear window. The only thing that ruins it is to have this wiper right here in the middle. But looking at the taillights here, what I like about Jeep Cherokees in general of this generation is that the taillight has a huge, big connection to the front headlights and how they are designed. It's almost a mirror image of the headlights, but of course in red and a little wider. And it creates this congruent design all around the car when it comes to the graphics. Welcome to the interior of the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I think having interiors like this, that goes back maybe 5-6 years or something like that, I think we're actually gonna start to appreciate interiors like this a lot more in comparison to the big screens that we have today that feels not as unique or not as interesting as interiors like this. Because we have everything we need. We have an 8.4-inch infotainment screen here with the Uconnect system. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything you need is in here. You have the gauge cluster with the analog tachometers and speedometer and a couple of analog gauges on the side for the fuel and so on. But you still have a centerpiece that is digital. So you still have the centerpiece where you can, get whatever information you need. And that's pretty much all, personally, that's all I need in an interior. I don't need to have anything else than this, anything more screen-like than this. Physical buttons, of course, for the radio, the tuning, the volume, and the climate control. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. You just have to go like this, driving on the highway. You can feel your way. This is the volume. Here you have the climate, tune the radio. So it's very easy to do that when you have dials and knobs with some texture around it. I also love this carbon fiber trim that we have in the Trackhawk. It just makes it feel special. And still, I can't believe that Jeep put this into production with the big Hellcat 707 horsepower, supercharged 6.2-liter V8 under the hood. And we also have a couple of small features here, a little storage here, 2 USB ports. You have the cup holders always visible here, and you have the drive modes. You have Sport, Track, Snow, Tow, and Auto. You can select that with this button here as well. You have the launch control button right here, which has this Christmas tree lighting on it, which I love. Just the detail again that shows that this is not your average Grand Cherokee. The pedals feels pretty solid. However, I wish they stuck down or extended further underneath the 3-spoke steering wheel. So I want the pedals to always stick up a little bit on top of the spokes and also down here, so you know exactly where they are at all times. These seats, they don't feel too aggressive, and I kind of like that. They're very comfortable. You have Alcantara in the middle with some leather on the sides with the Trackhawk sewn into the backrest. Looks very cool. And then you have HDMI ports on the side of the seat itself if your passenger has some sort of device that they want to plug in back there. In the armrest, you have some center storage here, but you also have a CD or Blu-ray disc right here, which kind of shows the age of this Jeep. It's kind of cool to still have it here, but it definitely takes up a lot of storage space that you will otherwise have down here in the center. And last but not least, you have a proper, look at this gorgeous glove box right there. Vents always visible in these Jeep products. I love that functionality over some weird styling when you have to open up the manual to find where the vents are. Here, they're right here next to the display on each side of the driver's side and the passenger side as well. And now the part that really matters the most when it comes to the Trackhawk, and that is the engine. So let's fire this up and let's hear what this sounds like. Here we go, guys, setting off in the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. So we have 707 horsepower, The exact same engine that we have in the Hellcat. 0 to 60 is about 3.2, 3.4 seconds. In a Grand Cherokee is just insane. Completely nuts when you look at the exterior of this. You even have the squared off wheel arches. That's what I love about this car. It shouldn't have been built because it doesn't make any sense. But then again, I'm really glad that they did. So this is connected to a ZF 8-speed automatic that is super quick, super snappy. I love the gear shifts. They kind of pull you a little bit, kick you in the butt, and then it goes into gear. Let's slow down a little bit here. And let's go. Wow. It's insane that I'm sitting in a Grand Cherokee. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if you want to talk fuel economy, this car is definitely not for you. You get 11 city, but do you really care about that if you're buying this car? I don't think so. Let's check the turning radius of this little Lambo in SUV form. Pretty good. I mean, it's still a normal. All those crackles in the back too, it just sounds so good. Unfortunately, these type of engines not going to be around for a long time, so we better take care of them while they're here. Same thing with these type of interiors. We're not going to have these type of interiors. Everything is going to be automated. You're going to have cameras in your face the entire time. That's why I think this car is very special, because it is a performance SUV with a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 up front, and on top of that, it has all the modern features that you want. And this is as modern as I want cars to be. I don't want them to be pods that drive you wherever you need to go. I want to be in charge, and I want to hear the rumble from the engine and be in charge of everything that goes on in the car. And that's exactly what's happening here. Just an incredible piece of machinery, this. You can't take advantage of all the power in the corner because of the high center of gravity, but the fact that Jeep decided to build this makes it, just that fact makes this a special car. Thanks again to Urban Motors for letting me review this car. I'm going to link all the inventory down in the description, so make sure you go and check that out because they have some very cool cars on the lot right now. As always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. If you like these type of videos, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.